Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andre, and once again, I'm joined by Benoit.
Hey everyone.
Hey. So this is the first game of the top 8 in the second regionals, June 20th, Chrome City, last legal pack. That's actually me on the left. I was playing all day Titan deck, a really fast, mean Titan deck. And on the right, we have Ottawa's own Alex, who came all the way, and he is playing Hayley right now. He was the top in Swiss. I was the bottom. I got into top 8 on one by the difference of one strength of schedule, which was incredibly close.
And we actually played against each other in the last round, which we split, and you made the cut. So congratulations, there you are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Titan is a bit unusual. Hayley is pretty common actually in Canada. Montreal and Toronto sees a lot of Hayley play. I'm going to explain a bit how my Titan deck goes as we play on. And if you haven't seen Hayley before, this is a really good video to see how Hayley can get up and running.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. You install the card, you get to install another card of the same type every turn. So basically, if you get out a card with Personal Workshop or SMC during Corpse turn, you also gain the click there to install a card from your end of the same type.
Perfect. So I get 2 ice up, which is a really good start for my Titan deck. Hayley does run through the shadow and is going to pay the 3 credits to beat the trace. And the top card that is access from R&D is a really important card. It was a mid-season replacement.
Oh, there you go. So he knows what you're up to.
Yep, this is a mid-seasons deck. I managed to put 2 mid-seasons inside this deck, and now I also have money from that scored hostile takeover. This is a good start for me.
Yeah, the only thing that is not really good is the bad pub, because Hayley can take so much advantage of the bad pub because of Personal Workshop and also all the things Hayley installs during a run. So.
Right, so 2 SMCs are out on the board. They were installed for 1 click with Hayley. And generally, that's a problem if you want to try and fast score something as a corporation, because you need 3 pieces of ice almost of different types. Luckily, I don't mind that much if he gets in with the mid-seasons. Also, he has very little money.
Yeah, at that point, you're way ahead, so your agendas are safe, because if he scores anything, you can mid-season in.
Right, so this turn is going to be just take some credits, a draw, I think, and a daily cast. This is unfortunate. It's always kind of heartbreaking when you play Hayley and you can't get the double install. Even if it's just perhaps a daily cast and a Ghost Runner, that's nice.
Yeah, but with only a couple credits, it's pretty hard to get 2 cards that cost nothing that you can install at the same time.
So Hayley is going to take some time to build, but that's normal. Hayley's a really strong late game, mid to late game deck, and we'll see that happening.
And probably you're not seeing your agenda fast enough now, because you could already been ahead maybe 1 Project Atlas. Because if he's running and scoring the agenda, you just mid-season him.
Yep, so I'm Jacksoning really hard for some agendas. The Personal Workshop does come out. That is going to be able to abuse the bad pub really well.
Also, good to note that hosting a card on Personal Workshop is not actually installing it, so you don't trigger your Hayley ability.
Right.
But when you install it during Corpse turn, then you can install something else from your end.
Yeah. So I pop the Jackson Howard. I don't actually shuffle anything back into it. I just trash Jackson. Right now, I am looking for those agendas. I don't want another Sure Gamble or the other card I threw out, whatever that was. I'm going to install now behind 1 piece of ice and advance. There is an SMC, but with only 3 credits, 4 with the bad pub. I'm not that worried because also mid-season is a thing. There is a clot on the other side of the table, which is relatively important just because there are hostile takeovers in the deck. There also might be fast advance options. Against Titan, you could expect fast advance. And I'm going to get an Archer and get rid of that hostile takeover. So you have 4 credits, 2 SMCs, and your Hayley.
Yep.
How do you break an Archer?
It's pretty difficult. Even with Sharpshooter, it's pretty difficult.
So
it's not going to happen.
At this point, I was worried. I did not think through enough about the math. I've been playing against Hayley, and I'm always surprised. You think you have them, and then suddenly... Because when you install, say, perhaps...
you could
Switchblade.
If
you install Switchblade, you can install a stealth credit from your hand, and that surprises you. Even if you install perhaps a sharpshooter, you can
Yeah.
install a cache from hand and then get 2 more credits. So it's really hard to
Because with the bad pub right now, he could spend 2 for 1 bad pub and 1 credit, get something from his deck, and maybe install a cache from hand, and then break your archer. Who knows?
So both of us at this point are trying to figure out if this is possible, this little math problem.
But at that point, I'm pretty sure if he spends all his money to get your agenda, you're pretty happy because you can still mid-season, no?
The only thing I'm worried about is that, say I didn't res that ice,
Yeah.
and he goes through, he can install
Imp?
that clot and then perhaps an imp from hand, or just imp and SMC. And imp is, I think, besides money, of course, one of the best counters to mid-season
Yeah, of
decks.
course.
You will not be accessing agendas, but neither will they be scored. And boom, that archer is going to fire.
Yeah.
I get 2 credits back, and 2 SMCs in the bin is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, you probably feel really good at that point.
Yeah, there's no more early pressure. I don't have to be that scared. And there's the imp.
Yeah, imp on personal workshop is pretty good.
So I think that was the plan. Hopefully to be able to
Yeah.
get through that ice. If it was an Enigma, you can get through for very cheap and then imp that out. Now that was a hostile takeover, which is a weird thing to install advance and not score. I really wanted to bait that run on the archer.
Yeah.
If he scored it, also not the end of the world. However, 2 bad pub might become a problem.
Yeah, 2 bad pub in the late game is going to be pretty hard.
Yes, especially with that workshop. You can run
Yeah.
onto an end the run ice and just take 2 credits off.
Or even archive right now.
Yeah, archive is open.
But you're still rich.
Yeah,
so
I'm in a good
it's not
spot.
bad. Not a bad spot.
So another ice going on that remote.
Yeah.
2 breakers required to get in now. That's pretty decent.
With
And
no self-modifying code, that's
Yes.
not bad. So I see you have a high risk investment in your hand. Are you gonna
Yes.
try for it next round? Ooh,
I
we're
don't
gonna
know. I might. High risk investment is a lovely card in a midseason
see. Yeah,
stats
pretty
deck.
good if you score it.
And especially in Titan, you do get 2 counters on it, so you can triple the runner's money for 2 clicks,
Yeah.
which is pretty useful. And this is the scary Hayley late game that I talked about, that we mentioned, is that there's 3 RDIs on that workshop, and all I have is a shadow.
Yeah,
With enough money, you can get in and access 4 cards
yeah.
whenever you want.
But at least you can only use imp once. So if you
That's
access
true.
2 agenda, you imp 1, not useful. So you have to
Yes.
score both, and then you're in the mid-season range. And I believe Alex was not playing any Plascrete in his deck. So
I don't think so.
I'm not going to surprise anyone, but he's not going to install any Plascrete.
Right. So double Akamatsu comes out for 1 click, not too bad. I did install advance that agenda. That is going to be scored, and that's a high risk investment.
Yep.
I do apologize. At the beginning of the game, I had to set up my camera really quickly. This was the first game in top 8, and I was surprised even to be in top 8. So I believed what was out of frame was in frame. It's going to be hanging out over there. I apologize for that.
Oh, we see the agenda points down the screen, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I hope that's all right. So one really cool influence splash in the Hayley decks that I saw was the Fall Guy.
Yeah.
It can come out for free because it is a resource, and it's really good to protect both the workshop and the professional contacts. Because Wayland, you could play
Snatch and grab.
Elizabeth
Why not?
Mills.
Or Mills.
Trash the Location.
Yeah, Trash
I
the
believe
Location.
Workshop is the location.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but if that goes down, the whole ship
Or
comes
Snatch
with
and
it.
Grab.
Snatch and grab is
For
good too.
for the professional contact.
Yeah. So this is the mid to late game that comes out from Hayley and also a lot of other shapers I've seen here in Montreal, which is Proco, and then for Hayley, install 2 cards.
Yeah.
You're going through your deck, you're getting money. It's just about everything you
And
want.
we apologize if he uses a counter from high risk investment to gain money because we don't see it.
Oh, a
It's
card will
off-screen,
come up.
so-
A card will come up.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm worried about that. So we have daily cast into Ghost Runner, 1 click.
Yep. Cool.
And I believe that was the Proco. Oh, actually, this is the run. There's going to be a run on archives to take 2 tokens off of the RDI. Hey.
A cool new agenda. If
Public.
you haven't seen it, pretty fun.
Yeah.
You install and you gain money from advancing it, which is pretty good if you're playing a mid-season deck. So a lovely agenda. We all love it in Montreal, so we hope you do elsewhere.
Yeah, I love these the public agendas. You can score. This one is great because usually scoring an agenda is a tempo hit.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. You can advance, keep advancing it too if you want, make money. I doubt that I need to, considering I have a lot of money in high-risk investment scored.
I love the fact that you're like taunting the runner to come take it because it's there, it's face up.
I believe earlier rounds in this day, people perhaps don't expect the mid-seasons inside the Titan deck, so I've scored some of those empty, which is admittedly very suspicious.
Cool.
But it happens, and sometimes it's stolen, and
So
it's
if
great.
the game is going on, so everything on Personal Workshop, most of everything can come out for cheap right now. Only one run, 2 bad pub, and
Yes,
3 things installed. So there
something
you
has
go.
to come out. That is a score to Oaktown.
Yeah, at 6 points, you need only one hostile takeover to win the
But
game.
with the clot, it is
Yeah, I know.
hard
It's
to
pretty
do
hard.
that.
Well, you can install advance, and maybe he's not gonna cloud out. So
Right.
yeah.
So there is, I believe, 2 Aesops in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
I love playing Noise. I did play Noise at this regionals. I just like Aesops. 3 credits for not a click has been really satisfying. And it's good in this deck because there's some things that you can sell.
Yeah.
Some things that get used out over time.
Empty imp or cash that you just played. So
Daily
there's
casts is always good. So 2 stealth breakers came out. That is a dagger and a refractor. Dagger is one of the best ways to deal with an archer. It takes 2 stealth credits and then around 4 credits usually. And the cloak is going to go out, so we know the stealth credits are coming. There is a ghost runner on the table. And I'm going to install something into that server and another empty remote. And here, that's
there
a
you
high-risk
go.
investment.
So it's the second time you used it.
The first time, actually.
Is it the first time?
first.
Okay, cool.
So at 6 points, you have to check the remote every turn.
Yep.
You just have to.
Uh-huh.
So the imp is going to come out to prepare for that.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a cache that came out with the imp. Right now, everything can be broken besides barriers. There's no clone ship or anything like that. So we'll see if perhaps that
Maybe
comes
in
out.
end.
Sorry? Yeah, maybe in
the
hand.
breaker is in hand, so you can
Yeah.
install anything from Personal Workshop. But since we've seen the imp come out, the Hayley ability already triggered.
Right. So Jackson Howard, I am going to pop this Jackson. I believe there's only 1 card in my archives that I really want. I have 1 Cyberdex Virus Suite in this deck, and I trashed it. I think it was the first card I trashed. I thought it was not going to be useful.
Yeah, it's pretty useful against
Oh.
Claude to win the game.
Not only Claude, it's great for Imp.
Yeah, also against M, because you force him to steal the agenda, because
Yep.
you just cleared the virus counters.
And you have to access it, and right when they commit to accessing,
Yep.
you purge it, and now they have to access the agenda, and that easily can be a mid-season. So that is an important card, and I desperately need that one back. All right, so Jackson is gone. I shuffled the other Jackson back into deck. And there you go. There's a lady. It's going to be hosted on that workshop, so you only need to pay money for it if you need it.
Yeah.
Refractor cuts through Enigma super easily.
Yeah.
Really not that much of a tax. What I really like about Cloak on the Personal Workshop is you're going to spend the credit anyways, so might as well spend the money getting the stealth credit out.
If you have the MUs, for sure.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And walk through Archer, and looks like that's the
Yep.
Project Atlas.
He's not going to score it, I believe.
Yeah, but that's a bad idea to score it. He knows it. It's going to be imped away. That was game point if you
Yeah.
didn't check that. So I'm thinking if that was a barrier and the lady wasn't in hand, would that have been game? I don't know. It might have been. We'll see. So something else is going to go into that server. I think I'm going to throw out Traffic Accident. I feel like the Scorched Death it's a long way from coming. Pawn Shop, the Daily Cast for some money. And again, I have to drag him through that server. He's going to have to use the imp token if it's an agenda.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to spend about 5 credits, I believe, for the round and turn. Which is pretty okay.
If only you had the Cyberdex at that point on the
Ooh.
remote, that would have been pretty good.
That's a good card. I believe I went into this regionals. I had 3 slots for upgrades
Yeah.
in my mind, and I did 2 Chrysiums and 1 CVS. I regret that. I think I would do it the other way, just because the amount of Anarchs I saw versus the amount of criminals or vamps that I've counted was not really a problem at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I only faced 1 criminal all day.
So we see the strength of Hayley. You're basically at
Yeah.
6 points. Hayley's at 0 point and taking control of your servers.
Yes. That was the Jackson in that server, which I have to pop. I want to pop too, to bring that Atlas back into my deck. In theory, I could have left it there because it's
maybe.
not a problem until game point.
But also, if he sees many agendas, he can trash them in your archive and access them and win the game. So
I am, however, lowering the density to get to that CVS, which is a problem. Maybe I shouldn't have shuffled in too many cards.
Hard to say.
Yeah. But every turn that if I can put something into the remote, that remote has to be checked.
So if you're Hayley right now, are you just keeping your runs to run the remote and trash the card install every turn, or are you trying to see what's in R&D at some point?
I think even this might be the HQ check.
Yeah.
I think running HQ uses the 2 bad pub to get the lady out.
Yeah.
And you're gonna break the Miramati for.
And you still have your imp. So if you see the mid-season, maybe you imp it, and then you're safe, maybe.
And that's a cloak from hand. 1, 2, 3. I think
one
that's
more credit.
7 MU used up. 1 card from hand. There might even be an agenda in there. But the mid-season. That's gonna get imped away for sure. So popping that Jackson was probably good because now you could have got 2 points.
Yeah.
The mid-season is gone.
But are you playing any archive memory? Because you can.
There's one, yeah.
So there you go. It's still pretty unsafe to steal an agenda because if the corp is running an archive memory, you can bring back the mid-season and mid-season you.
Right. So I'm gonna ice up R&D one more time against this stealth rig with the lady and all these breakers that use very little real credits.
Yeah.
It's scary. R&D interfaces are slowly going to come out. At some point, the 4-card access run it's inevitable. It's going to happen. All right. So it's kind of hard to keep track of whether Hayley's using her ability on my turn or this turn. Alex does a good job of tapping Katie. Hayley. When she's used. So we'll try and keep track of that. So we have an
hosting more card than Personal Workshop.
Yeah, admin. Personal Workshop is a great place for the admin. You only pull it out if you need it.
And also, Hayley gets to grab another card from end during a run, which is pretty fun.
Cool. So I drew another Jackson.
What are you looking for right now?
CVS.
Yes, you need a CVS to win the game, so it's basically a race for the CVS.
So the other thought in my head is the awkward window with Clot. Because there's another hostile in the deck, hostile takeover.
So you could
I could install,
advance.
but I have to install advance and then pause awkwardly. I can't confidently say install advance, and then see if he pops the Clot. And I think you would.
Yeah. And then you just try to install something. Maybe he wouldn't have a clone chip in his hand, but there you go. So probably going to see an imp coming
the clone chip was
before
installed.
the access. Yeah. There you go.
So he's thinking about
Thinking about bringing back the imp. Looking at his MUs, perfect. So 1 imp.
So 2 credits for that imp.
Accesses.
And it's a Jackson.
And you're not using it because there's nothing good you need.
Yep, and that's going to be imped. I don't even know if I would imp that. 3 credits is not that bad, and you want those imp counters for all the other scary cards in my deck. There's also, I believe, a Psychographics in hand. I really like that part of this deck. A lot of the times, you'll see a runner who confidently installs 2 Plascretes. And then you still land a mid-seasons, and they think, what's the point? And then you can score just about anything from hand.
Yeah, because you install, they're not going to clot on your install, and then you just play Psychographic and win. So you could have used your Jackson just to put back the mid-season in your deck, but
I have
maybe
you
have another one, and you also play Archive Memory, which is nice.
So it's not that big of a deal.
More money for Hayley, but Hayley doesn't really need credits at that point, so maybe Hayley can actually counter the mid-season soon.
Well, I have high-risk investment, so it's impossible.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the high-risk investment is just wonderful with mid-seasons. Cool. Even C-Source, no matter what, something's going to land.
We see Hayley playing 2 Ghost Runner at the same time, so more stealth credit.
Yeah.
But with 2 cloak out, it's pretty hard to have the runner empty all his stealth credit.
Yeah, but even if you empty it a bit, you can always sell it to the pawn shop with 1 credit left on it. That's not too bad. So far, the only card that demands stealth credits is Archer. Shadow, technically, too. All the sentries are going to demand stealth credits, but anything else, it's not going to be that much of a tax. This deck is pretty ice light, too, because normally it doesn't want to get to the late game.
You could also advance Shadow just to take it really high, so you need to spend more stealth.
I have 1 more stealth credit for 4 credits or something. Man, Advancing Shadow is actually decent against Mimic. I do like that ability.
Yeah.
So now we have R&D interface. It's going to come
more
out
cards.
with the clone chip, so Imp is still a thing.
Everything installed.
There's a Ghost Runner being sold. All right, so this is the late game rig that you want. You have the money, you have card draw if you want, very little deck left. And you have all the breakers. I don't know, I think this is the point where oh yeah, right, you do have to run that.
Yeah, run the remote always because it's game point, so you're just going to check the remote every turn.
So that's
Another
shadow, which is surprisingly annoying for stealth.
Yeah, cost 1 more stealth credit.
1 stealth and 2 real credits. And then there's going to be 2 more stealth on the archer, and 2 credits, I believe, for the Enigma. So 1, 2, 3. 2 bad pub does make things a lot easier, though.
Yeah. So
Excellent.
breaking the archer.
Yep.
With 4 credit and stealth credit.
And that's an Axis. That's a hostile takeover. That could have been game. And it's going to be imped for the last imp counter, I believe. There still is the
Clone chip. Yep.
So threat's not entirely off, and there's going to be 1 point. And that 1 point has to stay unless I archive memories in it. There's no more Jacksons. It's going to stay in the bin. So only 6 points is all you need. All right, I believe in Hannah might actually have a mid-seasons. So it's a good thing that he trashed it. Because in theory, he could have stole it. You know, that'd be a horrible mistake if he stole it.
Yeah.
Assuming that there's only 1 mid-seasons.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. Just put 1 mid-season in your archive and let the runner believe that you don't have any more or that you can get it.
Yeah, so
Alex is always playing pretty well, so he knows what he can do, and
I believe we talked after game, and the fact that I had 2nd mid-seasons, I told him about it. He was surprised.
Okay.
So imping that still was the right move. So here we go. Here's the R&D dig. Looks like that's a firewall, which is not too big of a tax.
You're still forcing the lady counter, which is not bad. And then
Shadow, which is going to demand a stealth credit. There is an upgrade on R&D. I believe it is Chrism Grid or something completely irrelevant.
And score for 3, not trashing that because he did not install the M back.
So that's high-risk investment. There's the CVS, and that's trashed.
Yeah.
So,
but now he scored an agenda.
Yes.
And 2 agendas. Can you
So 5 points. I believe he has 2 clicks left. So in theory, I could have this if
he's gonna check archives.
He's gonna check archives.
At least get the hostile takeover point.
I remember doing this. I was convinced. I forgot that there wasn't an atlas in the archives, so I spent a lot of time digging through my hand. This makes Alex like he's really excited for it, and then at the end, there's nothing. I was just convinced there was an atlas in there. That's my bad. So yeah, nothing in there. Nothing too good. There's another Chrysium. A lot of money.
Yep. Clearing virus again, which doesn't really matter at that point.
Yep. So 6 points. If he can score
it's 6-6. If you play him mid-season, it's so exciting.
If he can't find another agenda, he's probably dead.
At some point. Because he's not playing any Plascrete or N-size, so, he has to get in again and check for another point. But you're...
So he's running again, clone chip to pull out that imp, get some stuff trashed out of there.
Yeah, maybe trash something and run again, or trash your mid-season so you can mid-season.
But he's going to see 4 cards, and I don't have much of a R&D
you have
left.
Such a small deck left.
So Scorched Earth, that's getting the imp.
He's imping the Scorched Earth.
And the last time.
Yeah, your agenda density at that point was pretty high.
It's pretty,
Well, good game. So Titan is really strong early, and Hayley is really strong late game. So
yes,
there you go.
It was close at the end.
Yeah.
If he didn't get the last, the 4 card R&D dig likely to find you the last agenda point. But even then,
throwing away a CVS at the beginning.
Oh,
God,
that's a problem.
Why?
Yes, that could have been a different game.
Yeah.
But anyways, I hope you enjoyed that game. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned in the near future. There will be more coverage of Montreal's regionals. Thank you.